Well, I'm starting to get a little tired of this. This is the fourth batch in a row that has had a roaring takeoff and then falls flat on its face after about 1%. Now this is the fourth one. The temperature shows down here it's about 28 degrees. It actually is probably around about 24, 25, if you can see that, 24, 25. So it should be happy as Larry. It should be no problem at all. But, the irony here is as soon as I started going, there's a huge frothing up. You can see there's some residue froth there. Then it dies down big time. You can see the residue froth there. It dies down big time. And when you check the specific gravity, it comes to around about 1% has been done. And then it dies. I've got to find out why this is so. There is a variant. I'm using rainwater. So I'm going to run some tests to see what is the difference between rainwater, tap water and bottled water. And maybe we can come to a conclusion. Why am I losing brew after brew after brew? It falls flat on its face and the yeast dies. Well, getting the test components together, I'm going to divide the water of the rainwater into two batches. As you can see, I've just taken flat water direct from the water tank, and now I'm forcing it, aerating it into that container. So I've now got standard water and super aerated water. Okay, so now we're going to get the test components and start putting them together in my 4 glasses. Okay, standard water and followed by aerated water. Now, I suspect it got super fast because of the fact that it was supercharged with oxygen. I'm going to find out about that. Tap water, I don't have much luck with this because it's terrible. I'm going to have to purify that to actually use that. I've used it in the past and it does taint the flavour of the alcohol terribly. But when filtering the tap water, it does work. I've had better luck with that third one, which is the filtered bottled water. And unfortunately, that does tend to get rather expensive. It's about $4 per 10 litres or $8 for water just to actually make a 25 litre barrel. All the proportions that I'm using here are proportionate to the 25 litres. That's just putting some yeast nutrient in. Now I'm putting the yeast in. So what I'm basically doing here is just making sure I've got a commonality for all the testing. So everything's been mixed up. Now we're going to start waiting and seeing what happens. Now after 5 minutes, you can see it's a slight little bit of activity. 10 minutes, it's starting to increase. And 15 minutes, well, the aerated water is really jumping ahead. Same with the 20 minutes. And you'll see that the ordinary tank water, the first one, is lagging behind. Interesting. All right, 30 minutes. You can see now it's reached the top of the glass. I was suspecting it was going to overflow, but no, the glass shape actually contained it. But now after 45 minutes, it's starting to die down. 50 minutes, it's now reached the end in the tank water. Both the flat water and the aerated water have completely died out. There is still action in the bottled water and the tap water, but the tank water has died out completely. So I thought. Now, after 2 hours, everything else has settled down and stopped. But after 2 hours, the water in the flat water was battling with something. It overcame it and it started again. Now, it didn't reach the same potential as the others did before, but obviously there was something in that water that it had to overcome before it could start working again. Well, I think we're getting a clear indication of what not to use. I'm thinking seriously now, okay, we're doing the same test with bottled water again to prove that what I'm doing is going to work. So I've got the whole thing I'm putting together here, activating it with the yeast and putting the yeast in, and we're going to be seeing exactly what's happening. It's looking more and more like I'm going to be getting not bottled water, but I'm going to be getting tap water because it gets too expensive for bottled water. So I'll get a filter by the looks of it and filter the tap water for all future beings. This is a good indication of what it is. After 24 hours, yes, definitely, it's going happy. After 3 days, yes, it's going happy. And this is the 4th day I'm recording this, and it's still going. It's starting to slow down. So the indication is clear, isn't it? Well, who would have known That the water that keeps us all alive falls from the sky. That's the reason why my brews were not going. Very unusual, that. There have to be some reason. The estate that I'm living in right now, it's compulsory. We have to have a water tank that services the toilet, the laundry, and all the gardening. And for years I'd lived on a property where that's all we had. We had tank water and kept on living with it. But apparently it's not good enough for brewing alcohol. Very unusual. Well, it looks like I'm going to have to invest in a filter, so I can actually filter the tap water and the terrible chemicals that are in there. And that's another story for another day. Well, filter, here it comes.